This is DD India. You're watching Express News, a program where we bring you top 100 news of the day. I'm Tanvi Taneja. Let's begin. Prime Minister Narendra Modi concluded his five-nation visit. Prime Minister Modi highlighted issues faced by the Global South and also firmed up multiple pacts on areas of immense importance. The last leg of Prime Minister's five-nation visit was Namibia. One of the major highlights was that he was conferred with Namibia's highest civilian award, the Order of the Most Ancient Welwisher Mirabilis. India's Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar presided over as the chief guest at the inauguration of the first annual academic conference on Indian knowledge systems at Jawaharlal Nehru University in New Delhi on Thursday. While addressing the conference, Vice President Dhankar said that India's ancient land was home to luminous centers of intellectual life and its universities had already established themselves as thriving centers of learning. India's Home Minister Amit Shah chaired the 27th meeting of the Eastern Zonal Council in Ranchi, Jharkhand on Thursday. India Energy Storage Week, a premier international conference and exhibition, was held in New Delhi. This year's edition promises robust global participation alongside strong support from India's state partners. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal virtually addressed the India Energy Storage Week. He highlighted that India must lead in the research and development efforts in the field of energy storage. The second edition of a Confederation of Indian Industries Conference on Export Logistics was held in New Delhi on Thursday. The theme for this year's conference is Innovating for a Sustainable and Efficient Future in Export Logistics. Speaking at the conference, Minister of State for Ports, Shipping and Waterways Shantanu Thakur said that strengthening India's last-mile connectivity is key to reducing logistics costs and making it easier to do business. A roadmap for strengthening state S&T Council report was released by Niti Aayog Vice Chairman Suman Berry in the presence of Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh in New Delhi on Thursday. National Fish Farmers Day 2025 is observed on Thursday. Over years, fisheries sector has witnessed remarkable achievements with constant effort of the Modi-led government in transforming fisheries sector in a holistic way through the Blue Revolution in the country. Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan on Thursday inaugurated the two-day Vice Chancellors Conference in Kevadia, Gujarat. It serves as a platform for all academic leaders to work together for shaping institutions, empowering generations, creating a new model of Indian education and carving a brighter future. India's Communications Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia inaugurated the VTU-VRIF Telecom Centre of Excellence in Bengaluru. Addressing the event, the minister said that in the next decade, we will be able to say that Silicon Valley is a version of Bengaluru. A leading digital news dairies claim that the centre has commissioned a nationwide study to assess the pattern of sudden deaths in India has been dubbed as fake by the Press Information Bureau. The National Investigation Agency has filed the first supplementary charge sheet against Tahabur Hussain Rana on Wednesday. The charge sheet pertains to the submission of documents regarding the extradition of accused Tahabur Hussain Rana and additional evidence collected by NIA. As part of the ongoing humanitarian assistance and disaster relief operations in Himachal Pradesh, the Indian Army continues to extend critical support to civil administration in Mandi district. SDRF and NDRF are working in close coordination with the local authorities. Medical assistance and distribution of relief material was provided by the team deployed in the area. Indian Army has launched extensive humanitarian assistance and disaster relief operations under Operation Jal Rahat 2 across northeast India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi extended greetings to everyone on the special occasion of Guru Purnima. The annual Amarnath Yatra is going on smoothly in the Kashmir Himalayas on the 8th day of the pilgrimage on Thursday amid tight security arrangements. The total number of pilgrims who visited the cave shrine in the last 7 days reached over 128,600. At close, Indian equity indices ended on a negative note on Thursday with Nifty 50 around 25,350. Nifty declined 121 points to close at 25,355. The Sensex at the Bombay Stock Exchange was down 346 points to close at 83,190. At the Forex market, Indian rupee ended marginally higher at 85 rupees 64 paise against the US dollar on Thursday. On the multi-commodity exchange, gold futures maturing on August 5th were priced at 96,850 rupees per 10 grams. Silver futures for September 5th maturity stood at 1,07,970 rupees per kilo on the MCX. Global crude oil prices were steady on Thursday as investors weighed the potential impact of US President Donald Trump's tariffs on global economic growth, while a weaker dollar and signs of strong US gasoline demand underpinned prices. Linda Yaccarina resigned on Wednesday as CEO of X, the social media platform formerly known as Twitter, after 2 years at the helm of the Elon Musk-owned company. Bitcoin surged to a fresh all-time high of nearly $112,000 early Thursday, driven by a mix of growing risk appetite, sustained institutional inflows, and macroeconomic optimism. The London Stock Exchange reached a record high on Thursday, driven by optimism that governments will negotiate deals to mitigate the impact of US President Donald Trump's expanded tariffs. London's FTSE 100 rose 1% to a record high following a surge in mining stocks. German inflation slowed down to 2% in June, according to the Federal Statistics Office said on Thursday. This marks a decrease from May's 2.1% year-over-year rise in consumer prices, harmonized to compare with other EU countries. India's Minister of State for External Affairs, Pabitra Margarita, co-chaired a productive ASEAN-India Foreign Ministers meeting in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, with Secretary of the Foreign Affairs of the Philippines, Teresa P. Lazaro. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio is in Kuala Lumpur to attend the 58th ASEAN Foreign Ministers meeting. He will attend a post-ministerial conference and a meeting by the East Asian Foreign Ministers. Marco Rubio signed a bilateral MOU on civil nuclear cooperation with his Malaysian counterpart. French President Emmanuel Macron met UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer for a summit focusing on maintaining support for Ukraine and curbing undocumented cross-channel immigration. Both announced closer cooperation on defense and migration. US President Donald Trump on Wednesday shot off a round of tariff letters to 7 countries, including Algeria, Iraq, Libya, Sri Lanka and the Philippines. These letters are set to take effect on August 1, barring any trade deals reached before then. Trump has announced a staggering tariff of 50% on all imports from Brazil following a public spat with his Brazilian counterpart, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, this week. Donald Trump announced a 50% tariff on copper, saying on social media that it would be effective August 1st and that the decision was made after a national security assessment. Trump signaled on Tuesday that he was imposing fresh tariffs on copper, sending US COMEX copper futures to record highs. Speaking in an interview with Fox Business Network's Mornings with Maria, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said, negotiations are focused on a 60-day ceasefire that would see half of the living and deceased hostages returned to Israel. President Donald Trump is quite optimistic that there is a very good chance of a ceasefire in Gaza this week or next, after meeting Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Tuesday for the second time in 2 days to discuss the situation. Hamas on Wednesday said it would release 10 hostages as part of the Gaza ceasefire talks after Israel struck an upbeat note about the prospects for a deal to stop the fighting in Gaza. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni welcomed Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen at the two-day conference in Rome. The conference plans for the reconstruction of Ukraine after more than 3 years of the conflict. Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan and Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev held a meeting in the United Arab Emirates on Thursday to work to finalize a peace agreement after nearly 4 decades of conflict. President Trump hailed West Africa's rich natural resources as he hosted 5 of its leaders for a White House summit aimed at fostering trade to counter the growing influence of Russia and China. The U.S. Supreme Court blocked Florida from enforcing a law on Wednesday that would jail undocumented migrants entering the state. French police raided Marine Le Pen's national rally headquarters on Wednesday over alleged campaign finance violations and fraud. South Korea's former President Yoon Suk-yeol has been re-arrested over last year's failed martial law bid that plunged the country into political turmoil, citing fears that he could destroy evidence. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass met with 31 workers rescued from an industrial tunnel collapse in Wilmington area on Wednesday. The collapsed tunnel was being constructed for municipal wastewater management. On the second day of the Taiwan's annual military exercises, Taiwan's army on Thursday displayed US tanks. The 10-day drills are designed to test the island's resilience and see participation by President Lai Te-ching. A Liberian-flagged cargo ship attacked by Yemen's Houthi rebels sank on Wednesday in the Red Sea. 3 more crew members were pulled on Thursday, making the total of the dead to 10, with 11 people still missing. 7 people were injured on the 4th day of the running of the bulls of the Pamplona San Fermin festival in Spain. Later, the runners were taken to hospital. We're heading for a short break. We'll be back with Express News in just a bit. Stay tuned to DD India.
Can the US launch a bombing campaign against Iran? The Philippines vessel suffered structural damage. The saga of child sexual abuse is the United States China's debt trap strategy. Truth is stranger than fiction. But sometimes hard to uncover. Trust us to tell the truth, unadulterated and pure, of every story that matters to you.
Exactly what save your country.
You read between the lines, cut the clutter, and connect the dots to get you the full picture. Watch Connecting the Dots at these times with me, only on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching Express News on DD India. Let's resume. The devastating floods sweeping through central Texas have claimed at least 119 lives, with over 160 people still unaccounted for. Workers in central Texas continued to comb through piles of muddy debris as Governor Greg Abbott ordered flags to be lowered to half-staff over the tragedy. US President Donald Trump will visit Texas on Friday to assess the damage and meet with officials. 3 have been reported dead after flash floods in the U.S. state of New Mexico, just days after a devastating deluge claimed more than 100 lives in neighboring Texas. The Washington, D.C. region was hit by strong thunderstorms on Wednesday, causing flash flood warnings, tornado alerts, and several airport delays. The slow-moving storms brought dark clouds, heavy rain and strong winds to parts of Maryland, Virginia and the district itself. In their latest alert, the National Weather Service has asked residents to take shelter in a safer place. One of the world's most active volcanoes, Kilauea, erupts and spews columns of lava in Hawaii's skies. The eruption is currently confined within the volcano's summit area, posing no immediate threat to nearby communities. Thick smoke rose over Oropos, Greece on Wednesday as wildfires spread through the region, reaching the town of Esprohure. Firefighters quickly formed a barrier to stop further damage. A powerful 5.2 earthquake rattled southern Guatemala on Tuesday, triggering over 30 aftershocks and leaving 5 people dead. An earthquake measuring 4.4 on the Richter scale struck Jhajjar district in the northern Indian state of Haryana on Thursday morning. The tremors were strongly felt across the capital region Delhi and the surrounding national capital regions. Delhi and parts of the national capital region are experiencing heavy rainfall. In Gurugram, intermittent overnight rainfall led to waterlogging in multiple areas and traffic disruptions. Hundreds of visitors flocked to the Conservatory of Flowers in San Francisco to witness the rare bloom of Chanel, a Titan aurum copse flower. This unusual plant, native to Sumatra, Indonesia, is known for its strong, pungent aroma which attracts pollinators during its short blooming period. Photos of the first Barbie doll with type 1 diabetes has been released by Mattel in a bid to foster a greater sense of inclusion and empathy among children. The new doll features a visible continuous glucose monitor on her arm and an insulin pump, reflecting real tools used by many living with the autoimmune disease. Lebanese designer Elie Saab presents his new Fall 2025 collection for Paris Haute Couture Week, featuring opulent princess dresses worthy of the most beautiful fairy tales, with numerous strapless gowns with long trains made of silk chiffon or satin and adorned with pearls. The collection exuded regal elegance, with each look evoking fantasy and romance, solidifying Saab's place as one of the couture's most celebrated storytellers. Giorgio Armani's Privé Haute Couture collection was showcased at the label's Paris headquarters, featuring luxurious black velvet evening wear with shimmering accents. The collection featured classic Armani styles, including tailcoats, tulle gowns and sharp-shouldered suit jackets. Dutch designers Victor and Rolf showcased their new haute couture collection at Paris Haute Couture Week, featuring 15 pairs of eccentric black dresses with a 19th century twist. The collection features pleats, layers of fabric and colorful feathered headpieces created by English millionaire Stephen Jones. The designer's use of fake feathers adds a touch of humor and whimsy to the otherwise austere dresses. Syrian designer Rami Al-Alay is set to make his Paris Haute Couture Fashion Week debut with his collection Guardian of Light. The Emmy-nominated Apple TV series Prehistoric Planet has been transformed into a 360-degree immersive experience at London's Lightroom Arts Centre. The exhibit, Prehistoric Planet, Discovering Dinosaurs, combines original footage with new CGI sequences, allowing visitors to interact with life-size dinosaurs from the Cretaceous era. Mongolia's annual Nadam festival kicked off on Thursday with the horse racing competitions dedicated to the 2234th anniversary of the founding of the state of Mongolia. As part of the annual National Nadam Festival, 19th edition of the Dilte Mongol Festival was also held in Mongolia, celebrating traditional Mongolian attire and culture. The fantastic cast of the Fantastic Four First Steps, starring Pedro Pascal, Joseph Quinn and Yvonne Moss-Bachrach, attended a Berlin fan event on Tuesday. Actor Chris Pratt is all set to voice Garfield once again in a sequel to 2024's The Garfield movie, which made more than $230 million at the global box office. The trailer of the second season of Wednesday 2 has been unveiled. The Burton's hit series Wednesday is returning with the second season on August 6th this year. The teaser trailer of season 4 of the popular Apple TV Plus series, The Morning Show, has been unveiled, which will be released on September 17th in 2025. Celebrities gathered for the Balenciaga Haute Couture show in Paris, marking designer Demna's final collection before moving to Gucci. The iconic duo of Imran Hashmi and Himesh Reshammiya are making a comeback. The two are teaming up once again for an action-packed film titled Gunmaster G9, set to release in 2026. Bollywood actor Tiger Shroff announced on social media platform Instagram that the shoot for Baki 4 has been wrapped up. Marking centenary celebrations of legendary filmmaker Guru Dutt, a special retrospective of his iconic films will be held across India in August. Guru Dutt's classics including Pyasa, Chaudhry Ka Chand, Mr. and Mrs. 55 and Baazi will be rerun in theatres from August 8th to August 10th. The Indian Film Festival of Melbourne is set to pay tribute to the legendary filmmaker Guru Dutt during its 2025 edition, marking the centenary year of the cinema icon. President Draupadi Murmu will attend a special screening of Anupam Kher's directorial Tanvi the Great at the Rashtrapati Bhavan Cultural Centre ahead of the film's official release. On to sports news now. The third test between India and England is underway at the iconic Lord's Stadium in London. England won the toss and opted to bat first. England has named its team for the third test against India. Jofra Archer replaces Josh Tongue in the playing 11. Indian women's cricket team sealed a historic series triumph over England by winning the fourth T20 by 6 wickets at Old Trafford. The result gave India an unassailable 3-1 lead in the series, with the final game to be played at Edgbaston on Saturday. A mural of former Liverpool striker Diogo Jota has been unveiled at Anfield days after his tragic death. Paris Saint-Germain is set to face Chelsea in the FIFA Club World Cup final on Sunday. Champions League winners PSG thrashed Real Madrid 4-0 to enter the finals of the tournament. Serbian tennis icon Novak Djokovic has advanced to the semi-finals of the Wimbledon. Djokovic's next challenger is world number 1 Jannik Sinner, who defeated Ben Shelton in the quarterfinals. In the second men's semi-finals, Carlos Alcaraz will face Taylor Fritz on Friday. In women's singles, world number 1 Arna Sabalenka faces American Amanda Anisimova in the semi-finals of Wimbledon. In the second semi-finals, Iga Swiatek will face Switzerland's Belinda Bencic. India A men's hockey team continued its impressive run in the ongoing Euro Tour, securing a convincing 6-0 victory over Ireland. India's Animesh Kujur will be in action at the Monaco Diamond League on Friday as he faces off against Australia's teen sprint sensation Gout. And Lionel Messi propelled Inter Miami to a 2-1 victory over hosts New England in Major League Soccer tournament. And that's it in this edition of Express News. Thank you for tuning in. Namaskar.